making noise all over from his hometown to my hometown, Atlanta, Georgia. I got to introduce y'all Translee.
What's happening? What's happening?
How you doing?
I'm glad to be here.
I thank you for being here.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. NYC is a beautiful place.
Yes, yes. So, you did tell me that it wasn't your first time in New York City.
Nah.
It's your first time. This is your second time.
My second time, but this is really my first official time, man. Because the last time we was just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, man. So we down here focused now. We got the project out. So.
Okay, so now it's like a heavy thing now, right? Okay, well, I'm excited about that.
I got that blood look in my eye, like I want it.
Right.
I mean?
you have to have that hungry look.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that you're here again, and we appreciate you for being here.
Appreciate you.
Now, let's talk about this name. Your name, Translee. Now, before I did my research, I had no idea that it was your real name.
Yeah.
So, because I kept thinking, I'm like, how in the world did he come up with this name, Translee? I did my research, and this is your real name. So how did your parents come up with this name? Did they even tell you that?
Man, you know what's crazy? I'm actually the third. So I'm actually named after my dad, who was named after his dad. And I always ask my granddad where that name come from, and he don't even know. So I'm like, man, this was back in 1919 or something like that. So like for them to be on that, they was like some real, visionaries. Because now this name is like really helping me take my career to the next level, and I don't even have to do anything just by the name being a name. So, but I gave it a name. I mean, I gave it a meaning, and basically it means transcends all boundaries put before me. So that's what Translee means to me. But officially, we don't even have like my great grandparents been dead a long time, so I don't even know who to ask. But
well, you know what? We're gonna rock with that because I like that. So we're gonna rock with it. Okay.
We're gonna rock with that.
All right, so let's start off from your hometown, Alabama. Tell me about growing up in Alabama.
Growing up in Alabama, Huntsville, shout out to Huntsville. It's just different, man, because, usually when I tell people I'm from Alabama, people think we still ride horses and be on dirt roads and shit like that. But really, in my hometown, it's almost like a small Atlanta. Almost, because people are like ahead, they're up on the new shit, they're up on everything. Okay. It's just a small town and it's more compressed in. But the things that I was exposed to were a lot of the things that I'm exposed to out in Atlanta, or when I go to any other metropolitan city. So we just live differently there. So I think that's why I'm able to come places and connect with people that have seen a lot of things, and I can connect with people like more cultured people because we've seen a lot of things. You know what I mean? So growing up there it was pretty cool, man. Like I don't see it as being different from growing up anywhere else. You know what I mean? Except for not being able to go and see big buildings downtown and stuff. But like the female issues, the gangs and the drugs and all of the normal bullshit people get into, we was in that same stuff. So it's just in a different place. In
a different place. So what age did you actually bring it over to Atlanta, Georgia?
It was about 2009. It was about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Is when I really came out here and really started going on. I was like 23, you know what I mean? So we came out. Now, one thing that is different from Alabama and going to Atlanta is you see a lot of people that have actually made it big, and you actually can see people that have actually done it. Like, we never seen anybody that actually done it, so it never was real to us, you know what I mean?
So it's something new to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of that, you guys have an artist that passed away not too long ago.
Dobie, yeah.
That you guys continue to pay tribute to. Dobie, correct?
Yeah, R.I.P. Dobie, yeah, definitely. But that's the thing about Alabama, man, like, when somebody come up, they hate it so bad. Like, you understand, I got haters, and I talk some good shit in my life. I don't even talk all that extra stuff in my music, but I still have haters because it's so many people that have been rapping for so long, and they just get mad when somebody else get on. I don't want to sound like I'm dogging them, but yeah, no, like Dobie, somebody killed him from his own hometown. You know what I'm saying? They should have been the proudest of him because he was about to kick some doors down. He was kicking doors down. So like we just running behind the door that he was opening. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bust through it. But definitely R.I.P. Dobie. Shout out Frank White.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, so when that story came up, first of all, before his death, he was out in the media. I'm like, Dobie, who is this guy? They like, he from Alabama. I'm like, Alabama, what?
Tip, yeah,
like,
Tip signed him.
Right. I was tripping out. I'm like, Alabama, you know. So it was a crazy thing. And speaking of Tip, Tip was up here not too long ago, and great guy, His whole staff, everybody, you know, and he a people person, and I love that about him. So I'm like, Tip, we got to get you up here again for me, you know. But one thing I love about Tip, he does show recognition to his artists. You know, he lets you go into your own lane. And for example, like B.O.B., you know, you would never think that B.O.B. will have come up under Hustle Gang. You know, so Grand Hustle and all that whole crew. So that was an awesome thing.
Oh yeah. I always respect artists that, like big artists like Tip, that sign other artists and they actually push them. They get on the records with them. They bring them to the red carpet with them.
Right.
And, you know, that's key because a lot of big artists just sign you and they, like, get it on your own. It's like, well, why am I signed to you if I can't use the benefits of it? Right. So, you know, definitely shout out to Tip, man, because he's one of the few big artists that actually bring artists up with them. So.
Indeed.
Definitely.
So let's talk about your smash hit that's knocking everybody out. It knocked me out because I didn't hear about it. Okay, so we know my hometown is Atlanta, Georgia. And I didn't know about a lot of music that's going on down there. Only because I'm not in the mix down there anymore. I'm in New York City.
Yeah, it's a different
So
place.
I called my little sister up and I'm like, hey, what's going on down there? What's the scene like? So she tells me, and I started listening to you. I called some of my DJ friends and they were like, oh, you know, Translee, he's out. They told me a couple other artists also. So I'm like, okay, let me check them out. So I check you out and you were completely different than what I thought. I was expecting to hear, shoot your grandma on her knees, she dead, and, you know, all the stuff that everybody talk about.
Here, man. I want my grandma alive out here.
But it's a thing everybody talk about in their music these days, and for you to present something different in your music, I really enjoyed the whole mixtape. I
appreciate that, really.
I mean, it was something different. Now, I may be stretching it when I say this next sentence, because you gave me a feel of Andre 3000 and Big Sean. That's a crazy mixture.
I can see that.
But that's the feel that you gave me by listening to all of your tracks.
I can definitely see that.
And it's 16 tracks on the mixtape, correct?
Yes.
And it was just, I listened to it from beginning to the end. And I was just riding to it. I'm like, this is it right here.
That's awesome.
This is it. And the stuff that you were talking about in your songs, you spit a lot of knowledge. So I have to say I appreciate you for that type of music. Because we don't have that these days. So it was something different. Tell me about your lane that you're going in, because it is a different lane.
Well, I've always said, like, you know, if I'm going to get a chance to have a voice, like, I want influence. Like, I want to be able to speak and people really listen. Because I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that people need to open their eyes to. But I always say, like, you know, if I get an opportunity to do this, I want to say something. Like, I indulge in the Atlanta culture too. Like, I like going to the strip clubs too. But, you know, at the end of the day, music is like the biggest influence over people. Like, I don't think there's a bigger influence over it, especially the youth. So it's like, if you're gonna put that stuff out there, you gotta at least give them something. Like, if you're gonna give them the bad, give them the good too, so that they can, you know what I'm saying? They can decide. But like, there's a lot of music out there where it's like the kids don't even have a choice. Like, you either gonna grow up, you gonna sell dope, or you ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
I wanted to give people just something else that they can hear. So, and I got to a point. Shout out College Park. You know, College Park is like one of my biggest mentors. But I remember when I used to try to come to Atlanta and just do records based on Atlanta artists. And I remember I played him a record, and he was like, "Man, you want to just be an average rapper, or you want to really be somebody? You know what I'm saying? You got to talk your story. You got to tell what you go through or things that you want to talk about." So when I reached that point is, you know, kind of when I started carving out a fan base, you know what I mean?
Okay.
People that really fooled me. So we just been growing off that. So.
Now, speaking of that, Mr. College Park, who also took Soulja Boy up under his wing, and the Yin Yang Twins.
Yes.
How was that? You was an intern working for Mr. College Park, right?
Yes.
So how was that experience? Because when I seen that, I was just like, I didn't know.
That was crazy.
So tell me about that.
Because this goes back in our story, like, you know, we were college roommates, and so we used to always come to Atlanta.
You and Chris Hunter, your manager?
Yeah, okay. Me and Chris Hunter, who is over here right now.
Okay.
We used to always come to Atlanta, like, network, and make a long story short, we ended up meeting College Park. He let us come down and intern with him. And this is when Soulja Boy was on top of the world. This is when VIC was on top of them. You know, they was blazing. Like, this nigga was like Barack Obama.
Right.
So,
not Barack Obama.
Yeah, basically. So, like, you know, when we came in, we was like, you know, passing out CDs, kind of going around and meeting people with them. But in Atlanta, you find out it's a lot of, like, D-riding people in Atlanta. So, like, you like, realize, like, his fame ain't my fame. So, like, we would be out with him, and College Park introduced me to somebody, and they'd be like, Translee, what up, man? What's up? You good, man? We cool. But then if you go without College Park, and it's like, hey, man, step aside, man. We got somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like,
they don't know you no more.
They don't know you no more. So it's like, you know, we had to get out there and really bust our ass and get a name for ourselves, which is what we've kind of done now. So, but you just kind of learn that, like, that's one thing I learned when I moved to Atlanta is to just get up and go and like make a name for yourself and don't quit. Like, every day got to be something different. You know what I mean? Your every day got to be grind mode so that people can know your name and you can come to New York and people know you. You know what I mean? So
right.
That's what I'm on right now. Just expansion and growth and progress. I feel like I done got off topic right now.
No, you fine. So tell me. So in other words, what you're trying to tell me is that my city helped you do your thing.
Yes, definitely. It definitely helped me to grow because
I like that.
I didn't have, like, back when we used to rap in Huntsville, we would just pass it out to the people, our immediate friends, and as long as they was jamming with it, we felt like we was doing something, man. But
because no one sat down and told you the truth.
No one sat down, but we had to come down here and see College Park, who's a fucking millionaire, but he's up at 8 o'clock every morning like, yo, what we doing? We need to do this, that, and it's like, man, goddamn, like, okay, we gotta get on that shit, man. So, you know, that's kind of, you know, Atlanta definitely molded me into to be a grinder. You know what I mean? But
man, you should see how it is in New York.
I know. I can imagine. Look, I'm out here just bumping into people, and like, man, look, don't nobody out here know me, man. Look, what we gonna do, man? We need to get on one of these big screens out here, man.
You can make it happen. You can make it happen.
Yeah.
New York is that city. Coming from Atlanta, I learned that because I was on my hustle in Atlanta. Then I said, you know what? I got to move to the #1 market, which is New York City. And that's what happened. And, you know, we're here now. We here now. You know what I mean?
Look, we up here having to put in codes and walk in secret buildings to come get to you.
Right.
So you
know, sometimes, you know, you just work hard for it. You know what I mean? It's a process. You know, nothing is given to you. And that's one thing I had to learn working in this radio business. So tell me, you did mention earlier about you impacting the youth, having an influence on the youth. What do you think you have done so far with your music?
I think I've gave like a lot of the feedback that I get. Like one of the biggest things that I've gotten. I'm gonna tell you an example. This kid wrote me on like Facebook and was like, "Yo, me and my mom, we have a horrible relationship. She never agrees with anything that I do. You know, it's just like, you know how parents and kids may be at odds all the time, but." He was like, I was playing some of your music. She hates the music I play, but he was like, I was playing some of your music because I'm a big fan of yours. And she finally, she listened to it, and we finally had something that we agreed on. So he was like, I'm just typing you just to thank you for helping me and my mom start a better relationship. And that right, and like with the record that he was telling me, I think it was like a record where I was talking a bunch of shit in it. Like it wasn't, but I feel like I have a way of kind of spoon feeding the positivity and mixing it in with, you know what I'm saying? Because I like going to the strip club. I like smoking weed. I like having sex. I like doing all that shit. But it's like I also like going to church and doing right too. So it's like I try to give people a little bit of everything. Culture junkie, like a junkie of all the culture. Like I'm not one type of person. So. That right there, that influence, whenever he told me that, I was like, okay, that's my lane right there. Like, I need for the like, you can bring me home to mama, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you still feel like you hearing what you want to hear, though, you know what I mean? Right. So, yeah. Okay.
Now, speaking of culture junkie, how did you even come up with that name? That is different.
Well, like our actual label is called Digital Native Culture, which basically, to give a brief synopsis of that, if you were born before 1980, you were a digital immigrant because you had to migrate to the digital stuff. But if you're born after 1980, you were just born with it. So you're a native of the digital world. So basically, we wanted to be a representation of that, and we didn't want to be like digital native records or digital native music, just digital native culture, because we want to be more than that. And like I said, like if you're a food junkie, you're all in the food. If you're a music junkie, like I'm a culture junkie. I'm in all the different things of culture, and I'm still growing and trying to get into newer things. Like I want to get more into, I want to get more into food and try and travel more different types of food and stuff, and being able to find a cool way to talk about that. So, that's kind of where it just came from, just being kind of.
You mentioned college. What college you went to now?
UNA. University of North Alabama. I ain't trying to give them no pub right
Okay. Well, you say college was hard as hell, huh?
Man, college. You know what? It really wasn't hard, man. But it's just like
that was a hustle. It's the same thing, everyday hustle when it comes to the classes and stuff. Because I went to Clark Atlanta University, so it's an everyday hustle.
I don't know how you met it, because we was in an old backwood ass town with a bunch of white folks. Like, it was a little easier for us to focus. Like, if I would have went to Clark, I would have been struggling to get through school.
But one thing I love about Clark Atlanta University is we all helped each other out. So many of us had, like, part-time jobs, full-time jobs, part-time and full-time, doing internships like myself, and still going to school full-time. Yeah. But guess what? At a HBCU, in my opinion, you most likely have people to help you out because they know your struggle. They know what you're going through. Yeah, so that helped my college experience out.
That's true.
So I can imagine, of course, yours was different coming out of Alabama. Man, I can't even imagine living in Alabama.
Man, look. We had to make it do out there, man, because it's just space and grass and shit. Now, this is in Florence now, because I went to school in Florence. It's different from Huntsville. Huntsville is a little different than, I think, the rest of Alabama, period. So, that's kind of different.
Wait a minute. What part is different? Because in my eyes, somebody who's not from Alabama, I just think grass, horses.
Huntsville is just like Huntsville is just like more of a cooler place to be. Like whenever you're in Florence, like if you want to go have a fun weekend, and like we're gonna go to Huntsville for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So you can go out and do stuff and just see cooler people. Like
so, I guess compared to Georgia. Instead of saying, "Oh, we chilling in Duluth, Georgia," we're gonna go to the city and go to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I can talk in those terms with you because you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay.
Yeah. But see, Florence is like Macon in Atlanta, Florence, Huntsville.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Out there.
Yeah.
So y'all had to drive a long time to actually go park.
About an hour. Well, Florence is an hour from Huntsville, So.
Man, oh man. So all your family's still back in Huntsville, Alabama?
No, Albany.
They're in Albany.
Yeah. The only person, because whenever I was young, we moved. Just me and my immediate family moved to Huntsville. Like my whole family didn't move to Huntsville. So, and my mom passed away, and my little sister lives in Atlanta too. She graduated from Spelman in 2012.
Hey, sister.
Yeah. So she's all the way turned up right now. But so it's just my stepdad that still lives there. But like I was born in Albany, Georgia. So all my family is in Albany, Leesburg area.
So you created your life now in Atlanta, Georgia.
In Atlanta, yes.
I like it. I like it. We bring up some stars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love that. So
and y'all take some stars out too. Yeah. Y'all take them out too.
We're gonna be honest with you. All right, so let's get into this mixtape. First of all, I want you to talk about this smash hit single because we got to get to that before you get out of here. Somebody's Girl. It's everywhere in the strip club.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Shout out to the DJs too, man.
They plan it.
Yeah.
They plan it. So, and I always tell people, a lot of people want to know, how do I get into the music business? How do I get into the music business? I always tell them the first people you need to hit up are the club people. Yeah. Because if they playing in the club, they're gonna play it on the radio. They ain't got no choice. They don't have any choice. Yeah. So tell me about that struggle with you getting into Somebody's Girl.
Well, I mean, it all started, like you said, with the relationship with the DJs. Like, we've been out grinding with the DJs for a long time. Like, every DJ in the A know me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no DJ in the city that don't know me or ain't heard of me or ain't familiar with me. So, I try to tell a lot of artists from the jump, like, when they try to move down and just want to all of a sudden be hot, like, bro, it don't work like that. Because those Atlanta DJs, they so finicky. Like, if they they could love your record, but if they don't know you, they not spinning it. If they ain't seen you grinding, they not gonna spin it. Yeah. Period. So it's like you really gotta get down and build like a base with the actual DJs. You know what I mean? And
because
then,
their name is going on there also.
His name is going on, and if they're not moving the club, they're gonna lose their job.
There you go.
So with that record, once we got out here with that, and shout out to K Camp, who was my brother, my homie.
He's making noise in Atlanta, everywhere, even
big
past
noise.
Atlanta.
Man, KK out of here. Shout out to KK.
He's making some noise.
Out of here, man. And I remember sitting in the studio. I've been sitting in the studio here for a couple years, and just we actually got a few more records, a few older records you probably never hear.
Okay.
But you know, just having conversation with him and then seeing him take it where he's taking it, you know, it's just all about, it's like you believe it all the way. Like go back to the Huntsville thing. You don't see nobody actually doing it. You only see it on TV, so you don't really believe it.
Right.
But when you get out there and you really see people, and these are your homies that are really like blowing the fuck up, like you're like, okay, I'm right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
and if they can do it, I can do it.
Easy.
That's how you got to look at it.
So, but with that record, man, we just got out, man, really, and took it around to all the DJs, man, and didn't even put a lot, like we didn't put a lot of money into that record. But
okay.
The cats who did the Nay Nay,
yes,
the We Are Tunes.
Now they were one hit wonders.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be one of them.
No.
Okay.
No, but what I was about to say is they did a dance to it.
Okay.
They danced to it whenever we, like, this is earlier in the year.
Okay.
And you know, they blew up with the kids, and like they blew, like,
everybody was hitting the Nay Nay.
Everybody was hitting.
I just hope they come out with another record now.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like it's a vicious cycle, man. Like you almost see it before it happens. But they did a dance to it, and that turned that record up. Like literally, it turned that record up. Like it went from, you know, because we was doing our thing in the clubs, but that helped fill it in. You know what I mean? Like it gave it that other aspect of, because now we got kids in the hood doing videos. So if you look on YouTube, it's a hella kids just doing dance videos to that record.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, and it's still growing. Like we still got a lot of plans for that record. But right now, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that's hot in the club. That's the first thing, man.
Oh, that's something you don't have to worry about, because Somebody's Girl is definitely killing the airwaves. It has made it up to New York City, and you know, of course, in Atlanta, all the music is coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. That's where it's all happening. So all the artists are coming into the studio and promoting their music, and I love it, you know, because I'm happy about my hometown. I'm like, we doing this. Yeah. When the last time you heard a New York artist being put on? Man,
you know, it's crazy, man, because when you come up here, like I would think, me personally, coming up here and listen to the radio, I would think, man, I'm gonna hear Nas, Jay-Z, I'm gonna hear a bunch of old Wu-Tang or something on the radio. Like, I hear Future, B.O.B.
Exactly.
Tip, that's all I hear on the radio up here. It's like, man, so it seems like, you know, Atlanta, it made me feel like I'm in the right place.
Exactly.
Like, you don't even hear Kendrick Lamar on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Probably out in L.A., you probably hear him.
Probably so. But they be playing them with top 40 shit out there, man. So.
But the South, we're making noise. And we have been for some years now. You haven't heard, I mean, the people who you have in New York City, Jay-Z, Nas, Fabulous, those are the people that's current now. But when the last time they really
put a new
boom?
Yeah. I know. I like Troy Ave. I know Troy Ave's coming up out here in NYC. I buy one of his movement. But yeah, you're right. It ain't been no futures or anything coming out. Well, ASAP, you know, ASAP.
Oh yeah, ASAP. Yeah.
But you know, that is what it is. But nah, you're right. Like, and ASAP ain't killing the radio. You know what I mean? So it's like the South is really owning the radio right now, man. Because I think if you make people move, ain't nothing better than making people move.
There you go.
It's nothing better than that. So.
Indeed. Now I got to talk about in your song. I hear that in not just in Somebody's Girl, but in a few of your tracks, you talk about the old school artists like Missy Elliott. You mentioned her in Somebody's Somebody's Girl.
Up Jumps the Boogie. I used to love that song.
You know, and I like that you did a couple songs like that where you mentioned the old artists. I was listening to an interview with Missy Elliott one day, and she was talking about how people don't even bring up their names. Like the younger generation, they don't even know who Missy Elliott is, Magoo, and Timbaland.
They don't.
You know, they know about the new generation. So for you to even pay homage to mention them in your song, no matter how you mention them without disrespecting them, I thought that was huge. And you did that in multiple songs with different artists, different old school artists that we used to listen to coming up. Because Up Jumps the Boogie was
Up jumps the boogie jumps the beat.
Be,
I used to love that. I used to sit around waiting on. I was little. I used to wait on that record.
Exactly.
But so I think the kids need to know where hip hop came from. A lot of people think hip hop started with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these, you know, younger people. So, you know, it's always good to throw those names out. Then if you're a thinker like me, you might hear that and be like, okay, let me go look this person up. So you know.
So I like the fact that you're not a dumb guy. You know, you went to college, and not necessarily because you went to college, but the fact of how you lay your music out. You know, I like the structure of it. You have the different styles. That gave me something to look forward to in the next song, which is a beautiful thing. Now, before you get out of here, we got to talk about these 16 tracks. All right, you got Lose.